Motion sickness warning, perhaps, possibly, maybe. I do have a dot, but I got the mouse kind of sort of quick, and I'm going to be doing a lot of looking around and stuff, so there is the warning. You go into the map, you go into a match, I guess. Wrenches are the currency here that I can spend to upgrade the base camp. Upgrading the base camp increases the base camp level. The higher the base camp level, the more possible upgrades I've got. So currently there's a few things that I have to get to cap off this level, but I don't have the wrenches for it because it gets kind of expensive. But as you improve the things, it makes the runs a bit easier, guaranteeing that you get more items or better items and more selection, thus making builds a bit easier to put together. There are a few different classes. You by default start with the Guardian, who just bubbles himself. Think Zarya from Overwatch if you want. They also have a melee attack, which is kind of okay, though I never used it. The next one you usually get is Commando, unlocked after just killing a bunch of dudes. They've got, instead of a melee, a shotgun blast, and instead of the bubble, they fire a rocket. The Engineer, I believe you get after killing a boss? I think it's Recon you get after killing a boss, maybe. I don't like them. I don't like them at all. They feel weird. Their big thing is they go invisible and do huge melee damage to things, but when there's a bunch of different targets, these dudes seem not so great. If there were more like elite level dudes hanging around that's like, God, we gotta get that dude down, then I could see maybe a bit of joy in Recon. Or if you're playing with like 4 players or something like that. Yeah, I got rid of Krug F. I was full up and technically it violates terms of service, so I had to get rid of it. There's also Engineer, which I quite like. I've been playing around with the Engineer a little bit. They deploy drones when they have the maximum amount of drones. Summoning another drone just heals all the drones, and then the Scrap Blaster to mark dudes, and if you kill a guy with it, then you get a bunch of scrap, which reduces the cooldown of the drone. So the idea is that you scrap something, get the parts to make another drone, and then you just keep your little army going. Depending on the class you select, there's different perks that you get through leveling up in the map. So, yeah, we'll see more of that later on. Some gadgets that I can get. I like the jetpack for mobility, but there's a bunch of different things to kind of sort of change your playstyle. If you want to triple jump or reduce mods cooldown, your weapon mod for like a alternate fire function on weapons, depending what you're going for. All sorts of stuff. A lot of it is like kind of sort of meh. Like a third weapon slot, I don't know why I would want that. There's a perk that you can get for favorite gun. I think that's a commando specific one where you're limited to just the one weapon instead of 2 weapons, but that one weapon gets better. I don't know if Fanny Pack would allow you to still have a second weapon. Don't know. But let's go with a weird hat, actually. A bit of movement speed. And primary skill cooldown kind of sort of works for the Engineer decently. We'll do it. Otherwise, stuff here, nothing else you can really interact with. It's all a little bit whatever. It just affects you as you get in. There are different difficulties brought in, and easy mode, and then a super basic easy. You get less wrenches playing the easier difficulties, and there's a harder mode as well for more wrenches, but that's actually like proper fucking hard. And I think that's about it. Go drone! I think that's about it. Let's get into it. The Buddy Bot is like a secret unlockable thing that I've got. I like it because it gives you +2 technology all the time, which you can see on the top left corner. The more of a certain class I've got, the more damage I do with it. It's not a lot, but at the start it's helpful. I tend to like the blue technology weapons anyway, because a lot of them operate via a heat and cooling system rather than ammo and reloading. Nails for a bit of lucky critical chance. If I hit somebody in their weak spot, it does crit damage. And then the crit damage you can see on the weapon tooltips on the top right for crit plus 25% on the assault weapon that I've got. So not a whole lot of damage when I crit, but if you're going for like a sniper rifle, throwing knives, fancy crossbows, like big fuck-off rifles, that kind of stuff. They do a lot of crit damage. And there is even there's some mods that you can get that do like additional crit damage too. But I don't have any here. What do we got weapon-wise? Dual crossbows. Just literally 2 mini crossbows. The flare gun. With cadence and surprise. The surprise is odd for this. I don't know, because it doesn't list crit damage, which means that by default I think it's 30% additional damage. But I think by it saying that it can't crit, meaning like you can't target a weak point with it, I don't know if you can actually crit. Don't know. The junk beam? Fuck yeah, I like the junk beam. I like it a lot. I'm going junk beam. And because it's a technology weapon, and I got the buddy bot, I still got that +2 technology, so plus 10% damage, but this is just a big fuck-off laser type thing. It builds up heat, slowly cools down when I stop firing. If it fills up, you do kind of like a forced exhaust type thing, which is often a bit faster than the cooldown would have been otherwise. I feel like it should take a bit longer, but oh well. And then since we're going with blue weapons, we should try to find one of these that increase blue affinity as well. Yeah, fuck it. Let's go with drone damage. Why not? Hello, drone. Nah. And second drone. And that was my old weapon, which I don't care about. Yeah, it's nice that it had its own affinity on it. I think it might always, though. Things you kill drop these blue orbs. That is the experience. It goes away somewhat quickly, so you got to get to it kind of fast. Thus encouraging fast, active gameplay. Along the rails, you sometimes hear a bit of a beeping and a little robot glides by. Kill it for a bunch of experience and usually a bit of health. But you have limited time to do that because it goes from one end to the other. And I leveled. That was quick. So, perk choices. I get 4 choices nowadays because of the camp upgrades that I've got. Invulnerable drones, not so sure. Scrap Blaster fires 3 projectiles instead of just the 1, but generates 2 less scrap, and it doesn't home anymore. Should also be noted that there are perks that you get that improve upon previous perks, sort of like a improvement tree type deal. So it could be like, I know that there's a perk that I fire an additional 2 projectiles, just straight up with the Scrap Blaster, but I think I gotta get Triple Blaster for it first. You don't know that unless you just know that. Random element teach my non-elemental weapon shot. How's that gonna work with my beam? I don't know. Hey, how you doing, Marty? Yeah, very much a comic book art style on this. They actually did the comic book stuff really well. There's like sort of cinematics between levels and all that when you take down a boss. Mine gun, just like a remote bomb type thing. A scratch rifle, standard. Its right click throws an explosive grenade, I guess, but like, see how plain these weapons look compared to the orange one that's a bit shiny? It's because the orange one's got additional affixes to it, like it's a bit fancier and stuff. These being so vanilla, I'm not really interested in them. And then Scrap Blaster damage for movement speed, more drone damage, reduced damage because I've already got it, it's a duplicate. I can grab this, or I can replace. When I have all 3 slots, I can choose which one to replace. And if I replace it, it goes back up to the normal amount of damage. I'll go with the Scrap Blaster damage, though. Some sort of a red rifle on the map there. Don't really care about it though. Fire rate's kind of fun with the beam weapon. I like it a lot. Increased critical damage, there we go, and some accuracy. Accuracy doesn't help me here, but the critical damage plus 16%, this weapon by default's doing 25 if I hit him in the weak spot. So, could be cool, but I'm gonna go with fire rate. Boom. Brings us up to 7.47, up from 6.46, I think it was. Here's a precision weapon. By default, does 50% crit damage. There's also the bonus of increased movement speed is added on as increased damage as well. Kind of wild with that. Bouncing projectiles. That's fun. Grandma's shotgun's kind of fun anyway, because of all of the fucking pellets that it fires. Not for me, though. So here we have a choice of where we want to go. By default, these side routes are locked. I've already unlocked them in previous runs, though. Let's go for... Let's get my ass beat. We'll go this way. The level chain that this leads to is a bit rougher. But you get a bit more experience a bit faster going this way. There's going to be a room that we go into that gives me a whole lot. Just like pretty much a straight level and then an additional perk slot at the same time. Ugh. Oh yeah, buddy bot. That's right. For some reason I thought I had a shotgun. Cryo launcher. Very meh to me. It by default does cryo damage, which is I suppose kind of okay if you're going for an elemental damage build. Give me that. I like this because the drones that I've got, they don't do a whole lot of damage early on. You can spec them too, eventually, but by default, it's not a lot. They're mostly just more targets for them to attack. Something about the font feels Overwatchy. So I think Overwatch and Borderlands are the two huge major inspirations for this game. Obviously, art-wise, you got Borderlands vibes with the cell shading type stuff, but like a lot of the weapons are just straight up ripped from Overwatch, basically. We're on level 2, so these give +2 instead of +1. I mean, I guess I can take elemental damage, like my non-elemental... Oh, I see. No, my junk beam by default is shock damage, I missed that. Okay, so that's why it's not doing random elements. But hey, I'll still take elemental damage. I'll replace the drone damage with that, I think. Ah, fuck it, we'll go with that. It equates to 10% more technology damage. Or reduced fire rate is what it is. Wrong way. Aha! Yes, slide directly into the projectile. Some fancy dual Uzis. The right click being firing some explosive missiles. It's just got a chance to fire a critical laser ray. I think laser ray is pierce. And with it being critical, it'd be doing the plus 25% damage. It's kind of fun because it does random elemental damage because it doesn't do any elemental damage by default. And they've got that upgrade. But it can also set things to only do a specific elemental type. Now that I've got chroma bullets. 3 elements, cryo, shock, fire. Fire does damage based on the initial hit, or like the hit that ignited them, I think it is. Or just basically just based on the weapon damage. So for my weapons, it's not really that great. If you're going for like a sniper rifle, though, fire is cool. Cryo freezes them. and shock stuns them. Shock is medium, but I think is really easy to apply. The freezing them lasts a decent while, but that takes forever to build up. I don't know, maybe I go with electro bullets just because it's a little more increased shock damage, although it is only 3%. Yeah, pass. Weapon critical chance by plus 10%, which is nice because by default the lucky chance is 0, so I have to hit them in the weak spot to crit. More drones, but their damage reduced by 30 and size is reduced. I don't know why their size is reduced. I don't really know what that does. I haven't figured it out yet. I mean, makes them smaller, but for what? Harder target to hit, I suppose.
Commander, Tigan and Shen aren't going to be happy if we don't put the Skulljack to good use. We should have one of our soldiers equip it before we deploy.
Thank you, Ecliptix. Tier 1, 33 months on a 33-month streak. Much appreciated. And thanks for the reminder. I'm gonna go size matters. Increase cooling gauge 30% and 50% increase clip size too. Let's do it. You can see the elemental status build up beneath their health bar as I damage them. It's a bit rough to see, but it's there. Ah, I don't have my jetpack. Balls. I actually have to do the puzzle. Ugh, feels bad. Don't think I care about any of these. Plus 100% impact. Really knock them around and stun them. They're not bad. I mean, I don't feel like being Reaper, but, you know, I guess there's that. Let's stick with the cryo beam for a bit longer. Resistance, just damage mitigation, caps off at 60%. Battleborn. Did I try Battleborn? Battleborn. I don't think so. Morning, Sacro. How you doing? I don't have any lucky crit, so that doesn't really help me with this weapon. I guess I'll go resistance. Ah, there's a bastard right back up there. Oh well. Yeah, things doing okay for me, not too bad. I didn't sleep very well, but I'm not that tired yet. It's weird. Very strange. No doubt I die later on today. How about I keep thinking I got a... Why do I keep thinking I got a shotgun on my sidearm? %100% crit. Mwah. Ow. Battleborn has some decent co-op maps, but don't remember how leveling up affected gameplay. What kind of game is Battleborn? When I hear Battleborn, I keep thinking Battle Brothers, and that throws it all off. It sounds very familiar, though. A blunderbuss? I don't mind the blunderbuss. What's its range like? It's technically even longer range than the junk beam. We'll do it. I see the green on the map. Green and browns on the map indicate a optional side area. Almost always worth doing. Because it's just more experience. And then you get the boxes at the end of it usually. It's a bit strange having fire proc on them with this. Because the pellets don't do a whole lot, so the fire damage is a bit shite. But we have a free upgrade. A box with enough experience that it's always leveled me. And then mods and health and all sorts of stuff. So what do we got? Can change my weapons over to cryo. Battleborn, shooter, MOBA, co-op. Depends on the map. Possibly. How many mods did this madman put on Conan Exiles? Dude, so many. This total conversion mod is so good. How you doing? I might go with hyperactive weapon. Increased fire rate and increased reload speed. There's no negative to it. Apparently it's attached onto the chroma bullets. Like, because I've got chroma bullets, this is available. Sure. Try it. And then the second perk. All new stuff. Elemental damage. Chance to ricochet onto one enemy within 6 meters, doing 20% of initial damage. Future's cooler. I love Future's cooler. It's got a bit of a typo in it. But it's a 10-second cooldown. That it instantly cools the weapon off. I like this a lot because as you fire, the cooldown's ticking in the background. So a lot of the time what'll happen is when the weapon begins cooling down, this will trigger, and it begins only cooling down when you stop firing for a bit or when it fully fills. So Future's cooler is basically just an instant reload when it's capped off. Once every 10 seconds. I can get it down to 8.5 seconds, I think. I'll do it. I like it a lot. Graviton launcher. Damage ricochets onto nearby enemies and a 40% chance to fire 3 projectiles. Oh my god. And the right click fires explosive mines. Or shock rifle, which is poop. Yo. I might with that. Do I... Nah. The chance to fire additional projectiles is always nice because it's more damage being dealt without filling up the cooling gauge or consuming ammo or whatever the case may be. I think there's a flamethrower on the ground. I've yet to actually seriously use the flamethrower. At some point I should see about going for that. Drones, no, I totally forgot. Half playing, half looking at chat. And I'm hitting all the projectiles today. It's impossible to miss me. Yeah, flamethrower. The firing additional sparks is kind of interesting. Just as you fire, sometimes you'll see the little pew pew pews. It's currently inside the fire, so it's kind of hard to see. I had one run that was a little bit disgusting with the junk gun, the beam weapon, with sparks that did elemental damage and ricocheted onto additional enemies nearby. It was just a big AoE mess of everything. I had a good time with that. Oh yeah, I got an upgrade. Yeah, there's the crit again. Reduce Future's cooldown by 2 seconds, so down to 8 seconds. And 1 additional charge. So good. increases the damage by 20, but also heat cost by 20. Going power bank. So I pretty much don't need to worry about the weapon overheating now, because you see it just automatically recools. There's 2 charges of it, and it's a faster cooldown. So like, if it takes longer than 4 seconds to fire this and get it full, it'll never ever have to overheat. Ah. Okay, we're like maybe a second late, but oh well. I should probably just get lucky critical chance. But in lieu of what? I think I just do a side grade here. Although that'll actually... No, that'll be fine. Something to note with the Graviton launcher that I've got is it's got versatile, so it's technology or demolition, whichever's highest. So, bam, now it's demolition. Aha. Boss time. This is kind of a rude first boss. Why'd the second one explode first? What you do want to me, Billy Boom? Turn him off first, and then kill him. Something to note, you can interact with that lever on his back at any time during the battle. Doesn't have to be when he's down. If you have the jetpack, you can kind of cheese it a little bit. But if you don't pull the lever when you kill him, then he does a big fucking self-destruct and it kills you. Hoo-wah. So basically we're the Pokemon that this girl got from the 50s, caught in the tall grass, and now we're her gladiator slave. Kinda, a bit, I guess. I suppose. I like a bit of movement speed, but I'll swap out for now. Thought I heard one of the turrets putting down the fields. Kia! This weapon's so weak. Really just have it for that +2 affinity, which I'm not actually using anymore because this weapon supports also demo. I dropped a weapon that is a kind of poop to fire, but its second function is you right click and you put down a turret that does its own thing a bit. It's a stationary turret that I can't heal. It's nice if you can get the affix, get the thingy that allows you to put down 2 right clicks. Then you get 2 turrets to place down. That's nice. Yeah, this quick firefly. Weapons rapidly fire additional sparks, dealing damage. Using Reparo Drone, that's my alternate, my Q ability. When I already have all my drones out, I heal them. But now it would increase their fire rate and increase my fire rate as well. I'm a fan of Drone Bazooka. 10 damage isn't a whole lot. It does increase slowly over time. But hey, it's explosive rockets that they fire periodically. I might with that. How do you get up there? Crafting. Assault shotgun. Freewheel's fun. The assault shotgun, though. It could be aight. Try it out for a bit. See what happens. If you don't want to reload, just do a weapon swap. It reloads in your pocket. It's magic. Get pretty lucky with that. That can proc off of itself, it seems. Meh. More resistance would be nice. Because I suck. I like how this is just dual guns. Can opener, right click, executes enemies below 25% health. Bullets ricochet, 11% chance to fire a shotgun blast. Increased damage in the first 8 bullets. Increased accuracy and range. Bonus movement speeds added as damage. Increased damage and range. All sorts of stuff on it. The ball cannon, not a fan of it. Fire flower, also not really a fan. I don't know, maybe. It's an assault weapon, though. I don't have a lot of assault bonus damage, just plus 15%. Got longer range, too. Yeah, fine. Why not? It also goes per when I fire it, so like bonus points for that, I guess. You get close to the bigger ones on these levels and they just like run up for a melee attack. If they catch up to you, it's basically impossible to get away. That's one reason I like to have a bit of increased movement speed, because it makes it a lot easier to get away from them. Because they hurt. And since I don't have a shield, the damage that I take is like kinda permanent-ish. It needs chin scratches? Well, it's a bit sharp. Rocket launcher. Mega boom. Increased explosion radius. A booster on the right click to increase fire rate and reload speed. It's a heavy weapon, so it reduces movement speed, but it's got carbon, so it's reduced a bit. And it's also a shock rocket launcher. windmill rifle, like a little Gatling gun type deal. Like a mini gun. Chance of triggering explosions kind of interesting with that. Hmm. With the right click. Not terrible. Not great, but not terrible either. I think I'll beef up my elemental damage a little bit. Brings my damage down to 103.7, down from 108.8. Oh no. Oh well. It's fine. Actually... guess I could do that. Yeah, fine. Stuck. Ugh. I think I just generally like rapid fire weapons a bit more. Assault rifle. Shock damage. Turbo. With a can opener though. Kind of shit. Jesus Christ, there's a lot of things here. Didn't think I got so close to them. That thing fires out a little orb that pulls you into them and locks you in. Well, explosion damage, I guess. Or small soldiers. I like small soldiers. I'm gonna go with small soldiers. Apparently it clips onto engineer. Oh, that's just me though. That's, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, sure. Reduce damage, but it's an additional drone to take a bit of fire from me. Wait, what was that? Shit. Let me grab that quick. Ah, I jumped into that. The sulfator shotgun, it's a big chain shotgun thing. I'm not a fan of it because the range is terrible. It's like if I'm gonna be so close to something, it needs to do either a shitload of damage or be super duper rapid fire. Because it's a bit rough tracking a slow firing weapon like that. It's so up close. It does go blam 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 though. That's nice. A bit of fire rate wouldn't go amiss with this. It's also dual guns assault. It works. Sorry, drones. A laser saw, another one that I never really gave an honest shot ever. It fires saws, or the right click is a melee that super quickly heats it up generally. But since I got like the cool cooling traits, maybe it's not so bad. Try it out for a bit. One of these days I ought to opt into a specific element with my weapons. Upgrade that chroma bullets to be like, I don't know, cryo or something. Since I'm going with fast firing things. Ow. Ow, ow, ow. That went very well. Mine gun with homing projectiles and a chance to fire twice. I'll give it a shot. This goes thump. Thump click. But because they detonate also just over time, I can really just kind of do a fire and forget type deal with it. So it kind of works out. And with it being homing, that's really interesting. Oof, what a blast gun. Holy shit, look how shiny this thing is. Mwah. Assault or technology. Speeds increase damage. It's got its own affinities. It's got lucky. Projectiles pierce. It fires a bit faster over time. Has a chance for the shotgun blast. Ah, we don't quite have the cooldown for it. And then the right click is just an AoE bark type thing. Less fire rate, but it speeds up. More damage. Hey, I'll take it. There. So we still have a some cooling weapon for Future's cooler. I feel a little more planned out. We'll go for the shield. A bit of shield. Not a lot, but a bit. This room was just kill until the bar's empty. Just like kill 30 enemies or something, basically. Long rifle. Meh. Meh. If it's not super shiny and like doesn't hum something ominous when I get near it and like make me feel a bit of dread when I hold it, then I don't want it. That's where we're at right now. Useless ought to be showing up somewhat soonish. We'll do some co-op. I'm not sure what we're doing, if we're doing more Conan or what. See, like, look at this. Look at these weapons. Mwah, it looks so good. Are they, though? Not really. They're not that great, actually. I would like a bit of movement speed again. Fine. Man, we got 13 assault for plus 65% damage. Forgot I could mark things. I should probably mark them and then throw the mine gun in. Destruction. Ah. Bullets. Rude. Marking them highlights them red, and they take, I think, 30% additional damage. Might just be 20%. My dude holding his hand out periodically is me using the Q button when I don't have a drone to summon, because if I got the max amount that just heals them all. Blast minigun. With booster. Bit odd, chance to fire critical laser rate plus 10% damage. I love the blast minigun, but this one is so shit. Then I can right click to speed it up. Ah, man. I'm going for it. I don't care. Hey, useless. Hello. The best thing about this is that just by default, the projectile's home. Like, a minigun with homing projectiles? You kidding me? Yes, please. I just wish it had anything else going on with it. It's so vanilla. Drones suck at fighting the dudes who are shielded. I should focus on them. Yeah! I had one of these with the fireflies and ricochet, and the fireflies ricocheted. It was an experience. Boring. Boring dual Uzis. I don't care about those. Allow my drones rockets to home in? Could be 8. Repair a drone. Regenerate some of my shield. Be hyped about that. And power bullets. I really don't want power bullets though. It locks me into doing just strictly burn damage, which just that would be so weak because the projectile damage that I do is so low. Go for patch suit. So when I heal my drones, I also restore my own shield a little bit. Zoom. Ah, yeah, the damage is a bit low. Next to the beam weapon is probably my favorite just because it just does stuff. I like weapons that do things. Man, this is a good mine gun. All right, let's get wrecked because I don't really have great weapons for this boss at all. I was hoping for a little more movement. Tis what it is, I think. Give my minigun a little bit more damage. This dude is like the first gear check. For a little while, I thought he was the final boss. He always gets me on the way back. The first time I defeated this dude, I was the dude who can pop a bubble to absorb damage for a few seconds. The damage that I absorbed with that, through a perk, reflected damage. So I would just pop my bubble and just stand in all of the garbage. And dude killed himself. I almost beat the game with that. I'm pretty sure I got to the actual final boss. Ooh. Surprised I got him. I didn't think I had the weapons for it. The mine gun's great, but that minigun's so weak. How you doing, useless? You alive? Are we in the land of the living? I don't think this run will be going on much longer, so... The cinematic is very quiet, I apologize for it. There's not a whole lot to hear though. It's mostly just reading. We made robots to protect us, but the robots went bad and started killing. It's very awkward. And now the real game begins. Now it's a little bit open world, which is kind of cool, actually. A little bit open world. I mean, like a little bit. I will take that. Pipe. More movement speed. Come on, damage! Go! We gotta replace this thing. it's too weak. Upgrade. Weapon damage increased 20% when I have max shield. Funny. Bit of crit. Drone fire rate. Cooling weapon increased 20%. Oh no. Cooling weapon damage 20%. but increases their heat cost by 20. Since I got super duper cool Futures Cooler, going for it. No problem. We just gotta find a cooling weapon that's worth using. Because 20% on that chain gun thing is not so hot. But this is, there's a lot of different ways to go. We kill 4 bosses and we can proceed. But whichever direction we go, a bit optional. And we've got boxes and stuff scattered throughout. Come on, damage. No. Pass. What are you? Precision thing, javelin, fireworks. A scope that I can do a charge shot with. What are you blowing me up for? What is it? What do you see? These turrets are nasty. They're easy to stun, but they lock onto you and charge up a shot. When they fire that shot, it homes in. It's really difficult to dodge. You pretty much have to slide at just the right time. This is all a complete dead end here, though. Oops. There's one of the mini-bosses. I love how long I can fire, like I just don't have to worry about the cooldown. At all. What are you, pumping shotgun? It's a bit shite, but like, god damn it, I need something. I don't think that's the answer, though. It's really awkward when it shoots a second time, actually. I don't know, that might actually be worse. Go drone! Hang out here and get ready to heal them, I think. There we go. Good as new. Who's breaking glass over there? Or drones. Oh, cryo launcher. Dual blast guns. Chance for the explosion, mod cooldown, the melee attack. Bleh. 40% chance to fire 3 projectiles. Burn damage. Demolition weapon. Don't know. It farks quite a lot. That graviton launcher there. We have a moment. I think just resistance. As long as I've got resistance. How many weapons per weapon type are there approximately? Also, this is very new. This is early access. It had an update late last month. I think like October 20th it was. I think. Boy, weapons per weapon type. That's a difficult question to answer because there's a lot of hybrids. Like how many shotguns there are, maybe like, I don't know. I'd say like half a dozen per major weapon archetype. It's a good amount. It's a nice mix. More stuff being added. They update the game. Every couple months you can check the update history on Steam. It's quite good. Yeah, I think I'd go with the resistance. Ah! Jesus. Ugh. The fact that this can sometimes fire off that quick 3 shots makes it so strong. A ball cannon. It's also got a chance to fire 3. Oh yeah. Don't know. I don't think this is the answer either. Precision technology, etc. weapon slots. 2 weapon slots. But yeah, the 4 major things: assault, precision, demolition technology. Those are just like, I guess like brands of weapon. There's like a dozen per. Jesus. That turret over there. Ram a shotgun. How's this will have warm up? What? How's that work? No, like that. Fuck it. Why not? Damage. The really cool thing with the weapons in this game is the affixes that they can get to like be changed and modified. Some of them really change how the weapon works quite a lot. So it's like normally the weapon would be kind of meh, but since it does this now, it's a bit more interesting. So like, I'm about to die. I feel like the drones are carrying me a little bit. And give them a little more love. Shit, don't do it. Militia rifle. Burst fire. Can shoot a rocket sometimes. What else does this do? Fires quick over time, locked into shock damage. Guess. Maybe. I see boxes to loot. Explosion damage. Or lock things into cryo. I think locking into cryo could be aight. I don't do enough damage for the fire to be too great. And lighting doesn't seem to stand for very long. Shit. I was really hoping he'd get cryo just then. Health! Ooh. Sure. Fire rate for the drones 10%. It's like having 10% more drones, right? Dude's throwing a lot of stuff. What did you drop? Blast ball. Increase fire rate, projectiles, pierce, damage above X, cooling. And I can boost it. Short. Piercing baseballs. Why not? The green zone over here leads to a optional side area that is currently locked. It's covered in construction tape. To be announced. Yaug. Ricochet direction seems to be very random. It is a little bit wild with the ricochet direction. Like, there's ricochet when you hit a dude. Sometimes it ricochets onto somebody nearby. It's just whoever's closest. But sometimes projectiles just bounce off walls. That can be a little bit weird sometimes. It's usually somewhat predictable, though, based on the angle. That's nothing you really rely on, though. Like, I'm not trying to do trick shots or anything. Let's try a bit of fire rate. I'm gonna drop the resistance and immediately regret it. I have 2 corrupted enemies to fight here. Similar deal. You need to stop that up here. Is it working? Are we winning? Yeah, screw you over there. It's not that I do too much. Nah. What I'd like to find is like a minigun with a freewheel or a minigun with fork. I don't know if that's possible or not. Really just vomit ammo out there. That's what I'm all about. Don't need to be more accurate, just need to fire more bullets. Mwah. Gotta kill the corrupted dudes first. And then we'll be at the boss that I've yet to beat. But I've only tried it once. It was with that I become immune to damage and reflect all the damage that you would have dealt onto you build. That is quite the turret there. What's that? Blast gun. Fire rate. Critical laser ray. Chance to fire twice. Meh. There's a lot of flying shit on this level. I don't remember this. More explosion damage. Sure. I think we're locked into mine gun. Flare gun with mega boom, chance to fire explosion, or 3 projectiles. That's a big fucking boom. Maybe. How did you get a shot off around the corner like that? I saw it. I saw it. Balls. Where are we even going? Balls. Explosion damage. Sure. Ooh, a blast minigun with a tiny chance to execute damage ricochets? It's just so weak. But maybe. Maybe. I guess down here. Builds the cryo kind of quick, and I don't have to aim. Wow. Fucking deleted. Oof. Oh well. I ran in for a bit of experience. It's sort of the problem. If you can't kill stuff quick, you just don't get experience anymore. It's runs that are doomed to fail much earlier. But hey, 32 wrenches because we made it quite far. Perk choices. The amount of items, one additional item from chests. Weapon add-on, so further increased chance for weapons to have mods. Sure. Why not? And then I can still do a perk bank, 1 additional token to re-roll perk choices each run. I don't even know where that token is, but hey, we got 2 of them now.